I got a feeling I'm going to end up rambling a lot in this video. Right, I'm making this video impromptu, so if I'm going to ramble on, I apologise, but I need to get this out there. There has been a few rumours that have come out today about Jodie Whittaker leaving Doctor Who. I first heard them around lunchtime at work. I saw a few articles emerging on the internet from sources like the Daily Mirror saying that Jodie Whittaker is leaving and that she is getting shafted in a way. And, well, I'm just getting sick of all of this, to be honest. I'm getting absolutely sick to death of all of the toxicity of a few of the Doctor Who community. The community as a whole I love, but there's just a few sections of the community which are just so toxic when it comes to Jodie. And I'm not even talking about her as a doctor. I'm talking like personal attacks towards Jodie and other people who have worked on the series. It'd be understandable if Jodie was a horrible person and she had some really horrible, controversial views, a bit like J.K. Rowling, because she's been doing the rounds at the moment, but she seems to have all her followers on Twitter. So, anyway, the article in question that I saw the headline for, without even reading it, I called bullshit straight away. Basically, they're saying that the cover of the new Doctor Who annual, which will be coming out in 2022, has omitted Jodie Whittaker because she's going to be leaving. Maybe at the end of the next series. There's this rumour going around as well that after Series 13 is concluded, we're going to end up with 2 specials in 2022, and at the end of that, she'll be leaving. Where's the proof in that? I've no idea. We've had no official announcement. They said this BS about number of episodes she's got left on her contract. Like, where did you get that from? It's just, where's your proof? I'd really like to find out what sources you really got that from. So, it just goes on, this article. It says, every Doctor Who annual since 1964 has featured the current Doctor, so this is a big departure for them. It's surely no coincidence that it's just happened and she's on her way out. I mean, could it be possible that they just thought, let's do something different. Let's have the artwork just depict the TARDIS on the front cover. It's not that hard, is it? You don't always have to have the Doctor on the front cover of a Doctor Who annual. I mean, for Christ's sakes. Just because of one small thing like this, it just hypes everyone up and it just... I'm pissed off about it. Because how can this mean that Jodie's leaving? Of course, I'm going to say this. I myself do believe it is possible that she is leaving after this series or whenever at the end of the next special or set of specials, because it goes with the trend that Doctors leave after 3 series. It's happened with Tennant, with Smith, with Capaldi. It would make sense if Jodie Whittaker did this. But how many times has this been brought up? Even last week, there was a picture that emerged on Twitter, and it was an on-set photo of Jodie alongside Mandip Gill and John Bishop, and she looked visibly upset. And then everyone jumped on the idea that she might be leaving, and she's filmed her final scenes. We're going to get a shock regeneration in the next series. Like, where do people get this idea from? Are people so fixated on Jodie being the 13th Doctor they don't like it because she's female, or just because of the fact that she's featured in some controversial stories like The Timeless Children? I'm going to be the first one to say I'm not the biggest fan of the Jodie era, but that doesn't mean that I hate Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. I do think that her era could have been handled a lot better, but I can also argue this for the Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi era as well. Despite some issues that I've had with Series 11 and Series 12, I like to look on the bright side of things. Those two series did give us some really good moments. Do I think that the 13th Doctor could be written much better? Absolutely. But then I asked the question, if this era was, let's say, pitch perfect, let's say every single week we had a masterpiece episode. We've seen it before in the Tom Baker era, and we've seen it before in the Eccleston and Tennant era. We've had masterpiece stories week in and week out. I don't think it would matter, because people have this agenda against Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, and then people have got this idea that the writers are pushing a political agenda. Yeah, they try to bring messages across, such as struggles with depression and racism, issues that are still very much relevant today and have been relevant for a very long time. People seem to think that Doctor Who's become too political, but then if you're going to be like that, then that's just bullshit, because to tell you the truth, I think Doctor Who has always been like that, ever since the Hartnell era. The Daleks were based on Nazis, for God's sake. But I digress. This whole thing with the annual and the on-set photo of Jodie looking visibly upset, they might not have any connection to this rumour that she's leaving. She may be leaving. Any little thing which causes a little bit of drama just gets gaslit, and the media is not helping this either. All this stuff about Jodie leaving is just nonsense, because nothing has been confirmed at all. Why don't we just wait until the next series comes out, or better yet, the BBC themselves actually give out an announcement, just like they have done with previous actors who have been leaving the role of the Doctor. There's no credibility to the whole thing with the annual, and there's absolutely no credibility to those photos of Jodie being upset. For all we know, she filmed a very emotional scene. It could have been anything. And what I will say from experience of being an actor, sometimes you could be getting so gripped in the role and you're in character, and let's say your character who you're playing is very upset. That could carry over into after you've done with the scene, and you might need to take a few moments out. I don't like how people are grasping to the idea of one little thing that means X, Y, and Z. This picture of the TARDIS on your annual, oh yeah, it's concrete evidence that Jodie's leaving. It's absolutely not. I think it's just an artistic decision that has been made by the designer of the front cover, and then other people are going to be jumping on the whole idea of, oh yeah, they're all using a TARDIS because no one likes Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. Absolutely nonsense. The same argument was even said about Doctor Who magazine a few months ago, and I found a really good tweet about this, because with Doctor Who magazine, it comes out every month. Each month we have different things featuring on it. We do have Jodie, and that relates to news regarding upcoming series, or it could be looking back at everything that has happened so far in the Jodie era. But we also get other things which cover all eras of Doctor Who and all mediums of Doctor Who. And I found a tweet here which says, just looked at DWM sales for 2020. Highest selling issue was 547. And guess what? Jodie Whittaker was on that cover. Second highest was 556, which was a Christopher Eccleston cover. That's understandable because there has been a lot of hype about him returning to the role of the Doctor. We all know about that by now, and I've done a few videos on it, so plug alert, check out my review of Ravages if you haven't already. Third highest was issue 548, another Jodie cover. The lowest selling issue out of 2020 was 551, and that was a cover that featured David Tennant and Matt Smith. David Tennant and Matt Smith, two Doctors who have high popularity with fans. So the idea that Jodie doesn't sell is just nonsense. And in my view, this whole thing with the annual, just using the TARDIS on the front cover, admittedly it's a nice design, but the whole suggestion that the reason why they've gone for this design, omitting any reference to the 13th Doctor because she's potentially leaving, it's just nonsense. Absolute nonsense. And the worst thing is, the NMDs, as they are collectively known by, yeah, some of them are really loving this news. And I just hate it. If you look at channels like, I don't know, let's say Balstrek, yeah, let's bring him up again. I hate bringing up this channel. He's done so many videos and it just jumps on Jodie Whittaker and it's just anti-Whittaker, anti-Whittaker, anti-Whittaker. Jodie Whittaker's terrible, 13th Doctor's terrible, everything to do with Jodie Whittaker is terrible. Chris Chibnall has ruined Doctor Who, blah blah blah. And then I just realised the worst thing. I've been doing Doctor Who videos for 9 years, coming on 10. This channel's going to be 10 years old next year. And I'm not even at 1,000 subscribers. I'm happy with the 800 and odd that I've got in a minute. I might lose subscribers because of this video for all I know, because some of my viewers are probably anti-Jodie Whittaker. And if you are, then that's just up to you. You're wrong, but that's just up to you. What's alarming to me is Balstrek has got 43.2 thousand subscribers. So all of these people are buying into this bullshit that Jodie Whittaker is a complete disaster. I'm not going to go on for too much longer, but what I want to finally say is I've always been an advocate of Jodie Whittaker ever since she was announced nearly 4 years ago. But ever since then, on that day, people have gone with the mindset that Doctor Who is dead. Doctor Who died at the end of the Capaldi era. And if you think that, then again, you think that. But it's just all the way through, constantly, nearly 4 years later, we're still hearing shit like this. I even remember, after one series, there was reports about her leaving. After one series, and that was in 2018. We're now in 2021, people. And we're still getting this whole, oh, when's Jodie leaving? Is she going? Oh, I can't wait until the 13th Doctor regenerates. And you know what? It really makes me sad, because I do think that Jodie Whittaker, she has been treated really unfairly throughout this whole period, just by the media in general, because as soon as they see something, they just come up with all of this bullshit. And it's not surprising at the end of the day because it's the media. But at the same time, it's really sad. Look, if you want to start a rumour off, then fine. Start a rumour. But at least get some credible sources before you spread it online and then make half of the bullshit up. Fuck's this? If you've got a problem with this era of Doctor Who, then that I understand. But don't go attacking Jodie Whittaker or anyone else who is a member of the staff or any of the creative team, because honestly, why bother? You're achieving nothing in doing so. Just get a life.